welcome to the Cave Trolls React. Today we're going to be talking about the new Civil War trailer.
Woo!
Captain America Civil War, that is.
Yeah, not Avengers
Not
Civil War.
and not the American Civil War.
We can talk about that.
We could talk about that.
Abraham Lincoln was a badass.
Yeah.
You know, he fought vampires, right?
He did, yeah.
Had orgies.
Yeah.
Like Ben Franklin.
Yep.
But with a taller hat. More hair.
One of those things is true. You decide.
Yeah, it's all of it. All of the above. So, Captain America Civil War, Captain America 3. I don't even know where to start. This trailer was fucking amazing. And we say that every single time, and it feels like the trailers are just getting better and better.
Well, honestly, this is one of the best trailers I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it was cut really well, and I don't feel like they showed us so many things without showing us anything.
Exactly.
I mean, we know the gist of it.
That's
probably,
Almost like Star Wars did.
Yes, that's a good example.
That's why I like it. Because
You're not even like a big comic guy.
I'm not a huge comic book fan, and particularly not a huge Captain America fan. But
like specifically, you don't like Captain America?
Yeah, specifically.
Tread lightly here.
Specifically, I'm not the biggest fan. But
do you like the movie version of Captain America? No,
I don't like Captain America for the same reasons I don't tend to like Superman.
It's too strong?
No, not too strong. Just too black and white.
No, there's no black or white about it. Captain America is awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's all red, white, and blue.
Bingo.
Am I right?
What even like True Justice in the American way? He was doing that way before. Well, that's not true at all. Superman was doing it long before he was, but that was completely inaccurate.
I don't know where he was going with that.
I just really like Captain America. Okay?
I do too.
A lot of people bring up to me that they like the Captain America from the movies more than the comic book because there's more of a gray area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he admits when he's wrong. You know, he's still a Boy Scout, you know,
Yeah.
like the whole "don't swear" line from Age of Ultron. But especially in this movie, it's going to show that right or wrong, he's just on the side of the people, whether that be his friend Bucky or, you know, trying to save every last person out of like the Sokovian city as it plummets to the ground.
Exactly.
And now they're using it against him. So they're very clearly, especially in this trailer, trying to show that Tony Stark is the bad guy. You know what I mean? It really seems like they're setting that up.
That's a lie.
But exactly like we were saying before we got together is that this, even more than the comic book, is setting them up to be two sides of gray.
Yeah.
Like very much you can take, you know, Tony's side, you know, they did cause a lot of damage. But like we were saying before, like most of it wasn't their fault. And if it was anybody's fault, it was just Tony's, like in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when the like back to this actual trailer, when they first open up on all of the bad shit that's gone wrong, they skip over Thor 2, which I'm surprised because that caused a lot of damage to London.
Yeah.
But they
that
show
doesn't
everything
have
else.
to do with like all the
Avengers, exactly.
We
That's
all
somebody, you know.
like to just ignore Thor 2.
Oh, he's the only one who's not in the room, too.
Exactly.
I like Thor 2, just Malekith was
Yeah,
was
they
shitty.
need a new Malekith.
Yeah, I mean, he was... the actor
the,
is good, but...
The actor was good, but the way it was done
They didn't write him better, or
Yeah.
at all. give him some dialogue. But yeah, they skip over that, and they skip over the Abomination thing that happened in New York City in The Incredible Hulk as well.
Yep.
But they show everything else, and, you know, the Cap gets mad. What did you think of Thunderbolt Ross in this? Like, we actually get to see him talk instead of just stand around.
I mean, it doesn't feel 100% like he's wrong in everything that he's saying.
Right.
So
People are afraid.
you can kind of feel with him why Tony's going on his side, saying like, yeah, we need to be held in check.
Especially, like, I completely buy Tony wanting to be in check because he's caused so much damage. And more than in Age of Ultron, because that was kind of a weird shift. Like, at the end of Iron Man 3, he's like, I need a new approach to this shit. And tosses away all his armor and everything. So, like, I can really buy him siding with just, I probably shouldn't be in charge kind of thing.
And I like how, like, so far it feels like it's actually going towards the original Civil War story.
At least tone-wise, right?
In the way that Tony is going in his way that he wants to do things, and he's not veering from that at all.
Right, like he's standing by it no matter what.
Exactly.
Now, my main problem I had with the comic book is not that they made him a villain, that they made him a villain for no reason. He just kind of took the side, you know, I don't have a secret identity, I don't care if you guys do, and we need to be in check. And in this, it seems like there's a better reason for him to be fighting on the side of the government. You know,
he was trying to cover up everything that he had done.
I know, but what I'm saying is like they made him so much of a villain they didn't give him a reason. He was just a bad guy, you know. It was just a random switch halfway through, and it stopped. Like when it first started, you could root for him a little bit. You understood his side, and then eventually he was just, nah, I'm gonna fuck over all my friends.
Yeah.
Because like you brought up, they show the raft in this, which they didn't have the raft before, which I'm surprised because in Jessica Jones, you know, you have the Purple Man, he escapes from the raft.
Exactly.
So this is the first appearance of that. In the comic books, him and Mr. Fantastic just create a negative zone imprisonment for people who won't join up, and they just put their friends in there.
Yep.
And it seems like this is more of a last resort for him in this movie universe. I like you were saying, you're very much Team Tony.
Yeah.
Can you give me a little bit more on that? Is it just because of this trailer or
No. I think it's just because of the harsh pragmatism. Okay, these things happened because of us. They're not our fault necessarily, but
we can't say they're completely innocent either. Yeah.
Damage was done in some way in concurrence with our existence. So we need to be held in check. And to me, it just seems like Steve is fighting against that because it would hurt Bucky. I'm not reading anything else but I want to save my friend, which is extremely naive and extremely selfish to me.
They're pushing that a lot in the other trailers, but in this one, I think you get a little bit better sense. And also, like we've just talked about it before, and he says it in this actual trailer, like he's not waiting for the situation to go south before he jumps in.
Right.
Like and that's what the government wants to do. It's not just that they want to go, you guys need to be in check. They're saying you guys can't do anything until we say so.
Yeah.
Right.
And if they would have waited for the government, Hydra would be ruling the entire planet right now.
Exactly.
And that's where Cap comes from, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Cap just can't stand there and watch something happen before he takes care of it.
Exactly. I mean, coming right off of Cap 2, you know, that's a big thing for him is the government fucked over everybody, and that was a major problem. If he were just to stand back, that could happen again.
It kind of feels like a major pendulum swing, though.
Exactly.
You're starting at one side where there's no oversight and trying to swing it to entirely overseen, where the reality is it should be somewhere in the gray area of the middle.
Totally. And they're also there's a duality with that pendulum because it's also Tony started out being the guy who goes, no, fuck the government.
Yeah.
And Steve was the yes man, and now it's completely switched. And while in the comic book, they did mention that, they did try to make it, like I said, it rings true a little bit better in the cinematic universe because you get to see more of Tony fighting the man.
Yeah.
More than just him saying I'm Iron Man, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was really cool how they're doing that. And let's get to some of the other people that they showed in this trailer. We've seen a couple of the running at each other fights, but they showed a lot more in this one. What did you think of Black Panther chasing down Bucky?
It just shows how actual Panther-like he is.
His fighting style with
fighting style, the way he's running and like crawling and climbing over things.
I love that. Like
his
he was running like that.
His costume too.
Yeah, looks so good.
So sweet.
I don't know if I missaw this, but it looked like it was bulletproof.
Oh, totally.
Is it?
In that helicopter scene when someone's shooting at him? Totally looked like it was bulletproof.
Okay.
We're assuming it's vibranium.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, totally. It's gotta be vibranium.
It's supposed to be some sort of vibranium metal or fabric.
They get the
From
material.
Wakanda.
Yeah. It's originally from Wakanda.
Yeah.
Did they mention Age of Ultron if it's just naturally in Wakanda or if it does come from a meteor like in the comic books?
I don't remember.
I have no idea.
Because that's like the extinction level event that killed like the dinosaurs and everything was a vibranium like meteor. Not just vibranium, but like the purest form of that metal.
Vibranium, adamantium,
unobtainium.
X,
Exactly.
One of those combinations. And in the movie universe, it's the same thing. Like they get all of the vibranium from there. So, but I also think that maybe Tony has a hand in building his costume.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What makes me think that is because we know that he has a hand in helping Spider-Man build his new costume.
Right.
And we'll get more to Spider-Man, but all I want to talk about is how his eyes move. And again, we'll get more to that. But it's the same kind of eye shutter that the Panther has.
Yep.
Yeah.
It looks like it's the same kind of design. So I think that maybe Tony helped him build that super suit.
Which would make sense.
Oh, totally. But like you said, like he's still very Panther-like. I'm sure he's still going to have some supernatural abilities, you know? Whether it be the ghost, like in the comic book, where he can, like, you know, channel the spirit of the Panther, or if it's he can talk to ghosts, or if he gets super strength from any one of the combinations of those things. He looks awesome when he's fighting. Like you said, fights like a Panther. When he slashes the motorcycle, that was so cool. It's like, oh, he's going to tackle him off, and he just slashes the tire. I'm like, that was the coolest thing I've seen all day. Then followed up by more and more cooler things. Like, let's jump right into the superhero fight. So you have everybody essentially that's in the movie in that one fight scene, and we've seen a little bits and pieces of that, but now we get to see the majority of who is in that roster.
Yep.
We finally get to see Ant-Man throw down more than just cracking his neck.
Yeah.
With the homage to the original when he's on
Hawkeye's arrow.
Yep.
And that was really cool. Like, it seemed like he was inside one of those arrows.
Yeah.
And he launched it. Like, that just could be me, what it looked like, but it looked like he was sitting in. I wonder if he's got like a little cockpit on the end of that arrow.
Maybe.
Just waiting for it to be launched, like just T-minus 4 or 5. Just, he's just texting people.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really interesting shot. And then he launches.
Launching in 3, 2, now.
They also showed a Lego the other day of Giant Man holding it's the Ant-Man from the movie.
Yeah.
It looks like. So I wonder if they're gonna do that. Like that's gonna be the end all to that fight. So Tony brings out Spider-Man, his hidden weapon, and then Steve goes, "Yeah, now become Giant Man." Like that's their Trojan horse essentially. That's their secret weapon. Is we're gonna smash some shit up. I don't. That's just my theory. I don't know. It could just be a Lego.
Yeah.
But I mean, usually the toys give away something.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see it, but we know Black Widow and Clint Barton, Hawkeye, throw down a little bit in this. What do you think about that? Because they're like best friends in this world.
They're best friends. Not only that, she gets really close with Cap throughout the
and
couple.
she's also opposite sides with him too.
But I feel with her personality, she's always gone with what she's been told, and like that's her job ever since like everything we've known from her.
Right.
So that's what I think she's originally going to go back to, and versus siding with her friends. And then also she has some sort of reason to.
Oh, totally. And like they talked about that. She did a couple interviews, and what she mentioned was that it's not so much that she thinks Tony's right and that Cap is wrong. It's just like you said, the government are saying this thing, and it was either we can be on the opposite side and die, or we can continue to live and kind of do our thing on this side that we don't completely agree with, but we get to continue doing our job.
Right. And the whole thing with the first Avengers movie is she wants to wipe the red away from her ledger.
Yeah,
exactly.
And if she sides with Cap on this,
She's just a fugitive again.
Exactly.
So, like, why wouldn't you side with the government at that point? And plus,
But-
like, she has experience working with Tony, and even though they don't agree and it puts her at odds with their friends, at least she knows that team, She knows what could happen.
I think she can also kind of temper Tony.
Right, she can make sure he doesn't kill all of their
Yeah,
friends or
yeah.
talk. I bet you she doesn't know about the raft. I bet
Yeah.
you that's part of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll cause a little bit of a rift, if not a complete side switch.
A rift
Yeah.
from the raft.
Rift from the raft to switch. I think that might play into it a little bit. And also, you see Rhodey, he's just, again, I'm not going to say government stooge, but, he does what he's told. He's a military man.
Yep.
So that explains why he's on his side. When they interviewed Jeremy Renner and he was talking about why Hawkeye is on Cap's team, he goes, well, he was the first one to ask.
Right.
And I don't know if that was just him being cute because Jeremy Renner is fucking hilarious, or if that's legitimately his reason where no one calls him into fight and Cap's just like, hey man, I need some help. He's like, nah, fuck it, all right, I'm an Avenger, let's do this.
Yeah.
Because you see like almost the entire new Avengers team, Scarlet Witch, Falcon, and Hawkeye, they all join Cap's team.
Yep.
Except for the Vision, who I know they've done a couple of interviews, but I don't see why he would side with Tony, because he's number one, he's all powerful, like he's supposed to be the strongest one, but also like he has the purest sense of right and wrong there could be, since he's not technically human.
Right.
So I'm a little bit confused at why he would join him. Do you guys have any theories of why he would do that?
I haven't really thought about it a whole lot. The most that I've thought about with him is Scarlet Witch just
Crushing him, which is
down.
so funny because it's really showing her true power, because like I said, Vision's one of the strongest people in that world.
Not only that,
and
but
Scarlet Witch is just
it's just them two.
Oh yeah, because in the comic books they're married,
Yeah.
divorced, and also have estranged children, but
Yep.
at some points married. Like that was a really cool shot and heartbreaking a little bit,
I
just
know.
as a comic book fan. I'm interested to see where that goes. Part of me thinks it's just because the Vision is essentially Tony's grandson. If you think of
Yeah.
Ultron
Yeah.
as his kid in this
Yeah.
world, kind of makes sense why he would be on that side. At least that's kind of how the Vision views Hank Pym in the comic book, so I assume it's kind of some sort of genial thing there.
Yeah.
The only real person we haven't mentioned, other than War Machine, we didn't talk about Ant-Man very much, other than he's kind of a Captain American fanboy, is what they've told us. We don't really know that. And then Falcon, which we know is just with Cap because they're friends.
Yeah.
Falls in line with, his...
He follows him in anything he does.
Exactly,
basically.
because they fought together and, they have that kinship.
Hey.
No,
He's his wingman.
That was a good one. One thing I'm excited to see, and I don't know if they're going to play off this, is because we have Winter Soldier, Bucky, and Falcon, both people who are Cap's sidekicks in
Yeah.
the comics,
And
both
future-
have become Captain America.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to play with that at all. Do you guys think they're going
They
to mention
have
that?
to. They
They've-
have to play with
They've
it.
already shown Bucky with the shield.
Oh, oh, that's right.
When-
Yeah, 'cause
when they're
that
fighting-
awesome fight scene. Yeah, that's right. They did do
Some
that.
sort of three-way shield tossing. beat down.
I really hope they make some sort of cheeky joke, or all three of them lining up and like they all hand the shield to each other. Something cheeky. I just want them to cheek to it a little bit. I'm okay with a little bit of camp if it's something like that.
Oh yeah.
Either way, I'm excited for that dynamic. Do you think anybody is going to have a problem with Bucky being on the team? Because I know there's that one from the older trailer. Falcon was like, "Hey, usually when they're shooting at you, they're shooting at me too. So I just got to know that it's more than just a good feeling about this guy, you know." But I wonder, like, do you think Ant-Man's going to be like, "Oh, is this the guy who murdered a bunch of people?" Or
I don't think Ant-Man will, and I mean, like you said, Falcon probably more than anybody else. Scarlet Witch, I don't see having a problem
because she's kind of switched sides as well. Yeah. What about Hawkeye?
I think Hawkeye is the only one who would have a reason to kind of be on the fence about Bucky, but I think something will happen that Bucky saves Hawkeye or does something to redeem himself in Hawkeye's eyes that then allow him to work with the team.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, the only one that we have left to talk about, and we'll probably go another 45 minutes on this, is Spider-Man shows up at the end of the trailer.
Spider-Man shows up.
He yells Underoos, which was a really cool callback to the comics and what they're probably going to do with him and building the costume with Tony, because his original costume is probably really shitty and probably just is either is or looks like just Underoos, pajamas. What did you think about the hand signal that he gave? Was that what that was? He just goes Underoos. I don't know if he meant like webbing or if he was hollering down to something.
I don't know quite what it was.
I might be reading too much into this because I've watched this trailer like 95 times now.
Yeah.
I was like, this means something. Going through the archives, looking through every panel. He's done this before, right? But I'm excited to see that dynamic because it's very much more Ultimate Spider-Man with him looking up to Tony. Because in like the 616, it was more Captain America was more his fanboy crush thing. Yeah. And they had a really cool homage to. People think that it hasn't happened that often. It's happened 1,000 times that Spider-Man has picked up Captain America's shield.
Oh, yeah.
But recently, Brian Michael Bendis did that Spider-Man #2 cover with Miles Morales holding the shield, which was really cool. Which, by the way, he knew nothing about this trailer. I was just reading on his Twitter page. He's like, I didn't know that was going to happen.
Oh, yeah?
And just really cool coincidence. I'm going to sell a lot of Spider-Man #2s now.
Perfect.
What did you think of the suit?
I liked it a lot. I know there's a lot of flack against it from the just general public.
The internet. Yeah. We don't like anything on the internet.
I like the intent behind it. I don't know that I like the kind of CG feel to it.
Now, see, everyone keeps saying CG. Are you referring to like the eyes?
No. I love the eyes. Okay. It's just the absurdly bright red that kind of looks fuzzy around the edges to me.
I see what you're saying. Part of the reason why it looks fuzzy, and I'm not trying to no, you're wrong because of this. No, I mean you can feel about it how you want to feel about it. Is just that
it's the fabric.
It's the fabric. Yeah, they made the texture very small because a lot of people had a problem with Amazing Spider-Man 2 because that costume looked awesome, looked very comic booky, but it looked like a basketball is what people would say because of the texture. So they made the texture really small, which made it look much brighter. I like it because it's very much classic Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Bright red, bright blue. The lines, even though they are, like we pointed out, they are textured, but they look more like their fabric.
Yeah.
So it's more of the classic Spider-Man look, which I liked. And the eyes were awesome, even though there's like a technical aspect to it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it could be Tony zooming in on it. I do see what you're saying, though. Like, the flip. Even though I'm pretty sure that's practical. Maybe not in that scene. But Tom Holland was recruited partly because he's really good at parkour. What did you think of his voice?
I liked it, actually.
Like, he was a little too young for me.
Yeah?
Because if you hear Tom Holland talk, he doesn't talk like that. So they have to be going for that.
Yeah.
Part of me doesn't like that. I understand he's supposed to be young. I think he's supposed to be 14.
Yeah.
But people don't know that Spider-Man is a kid.
Yeah.
And the other heroes, he's got a secret identity, so they won't know. I don't want them to pull punches because they think he's a kid.
I kind of want them to.
See, I think I like his voice being so young for the same reason that I like him being in the movie at all, because you've seen such a trend of going darker and darker in these movies that having this super light, obviously a kid in these movies. He's obviously gifted. He's trying to do the right thing. And it's kind of this level of, this is the core reason why we wanted to do this. We wanted to help people. And you have Spider-Man there being a 13-year-old kid honestly trying to help people.
Just in full on earnesty. Like he doesn't have.
There's
side
no
that infects
cynicism to him yet.
Right, and it's full on like, oh, the government and my hero say this is the right side to be on. Better go to that side.
Yeah.
Right.
Where I wonder if they're going to do like in the comic book, since he's not going to probably reveal himself because it doesn't really work in this world since nobody has.
He's like
identities.
13. He can't reveal himself.
Exactly. Plus, oh god.
And it's not like a registration act.
There's no registration thing. There are no secret identities really in this world from anybody other than him now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Black Panther might have a secret identity. They don't really talk about that. Maybe not from the government, but from the general public.
Yeah.
So that part won't matter. But I wonder if they're still going to do the switch sides. Like, part of halfway through Civil War, Pete realizes that Tony Stark is spying on him. And also through him as well. Like, not just spying, because he's fine if he's listening in on me. I'm part of your side. But you're using me to get to the people that I want to protect, even though I'm on your side. I don't want to screw over all of our friends.
Right.
And he makes him do that by proxy, essentially.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if that's going to play into it at all. Because Tony doesn't look like he's the one who's not pulling any punches. That definitely seems like Winter Soldier. Like, he tried to murder him in that one shot.
Yeah.
But does that make him up the ante and then start using Spider-Man less for altruistic purposes and more to further his own gains? Whether he thinks that's right or not, I worry that that's where that turn is going to go. And then that's part of why they fight in the Spider-Man movie, because we all know through rumors and whatnot that Tony or one of the Avengers are going to show up in the next Spider-Man movie, his standalone.
I wonder if Pete gets beaten up and then you see John Barenthal come from the shadows to bring him over to Cap.
Well, they recently talked about how they did their audition tapes together.
They did the audition tapes together.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
Because they were on a movie set together. They were in the same movie, and so they auditioned together in their tapes. I thought that was really neat.
Worked together to
honestly, but I think that does bode well for us getting some sort of a crossover, because in that solo film, like I said, Iron Man's going to show up. Mm-hmm. And maybe they're going to fight. Maybe it is an audition to join the Avengers like we originally thought. But also, we could tie into, with Daredevil, have the Wilson Fisk and, and Punisher show up. So it's cool that they're seeding him in this movie. We're probably not going to see the origin story in this. Yeah. If we do, it'll be like one flashback. Like, Tony's going to be like, so how did you get these powers? He'll be like, well, I was bitten by a spider. Like, how did you get your powers?
Yeah.
Some sort of joke like that. Mm-hmm. He very clearly has web shooters.
Yeah.
So we don't have to worry about...
And he's got the cartridges, it looks like, on his belt. Which it's on the outside instead of the inside of his suit.
Which is, for practicality's sake, makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, what if Tony's cameo in Spider-Man is simply a mentor-mentee relationship?
Well, that's what they originally thought.
Yeah.
But now seeing how this is, depending on how Civil War ends, that could have been blown out the window.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. If he switches aside, it definitely won't be a mentor-mentee relationship, because this isn't going to be a Batman versus Superman situation. This isn't going to be, we got to team up to fight the bad guy. They are the bad guys.
Yeah.
So...
There is no protagonist, no antagonist.
Exactly, and we know somebody dies in this, and in the trailer they make it seem like it's Rhodes. I don't think it's gonna be Rhodes.
Oh, I don't.
I think it's either gonna be Cap or Tony.
Yeah,
or someone neutral. And they can't kill off Black Widow because she hasn't got her own solo movie, and people will go insane, including myself, if they kill her.
Because that would be awful.
One of the few female protagonists we have in this world. That'd be like them killing off Black Panther. Like, like we have three black guys, and you kill one of them. Come on, like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. At least kill off Ant-Man. You know what I mean? Like, we have multiple Ant-Mans. I love Paul Rudd. I was kidding.
He's perfect, Scott Lang.
He was perfect, Scott Lang. So like, they're gonna kill off somebody, and the only people I can think who would have emotional resonance, and if you think of the contract game, it'd be Tony or Cap, and they can make a big return in Infinity War Part 2. Mm-hmm. And also, like, they both have people that can replace them as that person. So, Cap has Bucky, he has Falcon, Sam Wilson, and then Tony has Rhodes, and even Pepper, because she jumped into suit before.
Yep.
So they have people, even,
a Pepper Iron Man would be pretty intense.
She was Iron Man for a little while in comics, and then she got her own suit of armor. It wasn't very good,
right?
But she would be cool.
Yeah,
like Gwyneth Paltrow, right?
Yeah,
I think that would be interesting because she's a really strong character. But I mean, like, Thor's not in this one, but even he, he has Jane Foster. People can pick up the hammer.
Yeah,
those people can be replaced in the strictest sense of the powers.
Yeah,
and the tool set. Whereas in no one can shoot as good as Hawkeye.
Right.
No one's as good of a spy as Black Widow, other than Mockingbird.
Maybe they bring the female Hawkeye in at some point.
I would love for them to bring in Kate Bishop. I would go insane. I'm one of those people who are really rooting for Aubrey Plaza.
Katie.
Katie. Aubrey Plaza would be an amazing Kate Bishop. But before we just start wandering into 10,000 different topics, let us know in the comments below what you think is going to happen in Civil War. if or who is going to die in this
Spider-Man
film.
wins.
Spider-Man always wins. Like that's who wins Civil War, right? Is Spider-Man.
He changes sides because he believes that one side's losing, the other side's winning.
Spider-Man's just a douchebag, is what you're saying? No, wait. I cannot believe that.
No.
I'm excited for it either way. Let us know if you're excited about it. Put somewhere in there why you think that you don't like the Spider-Man costume if you don't.
Yeah.
Or if you agree with us when you think it's just awesome.
Step 1, though, just leave comments, please.
We've been getting more comments like as of late, and I reply to them as soon as possible.
Oh, yeah?
Because I have it set up Google notifications. So if you reply, we'll definitely talk to you. Email us at cavetrollscast@gmail.com. We are Cave Trolls Cast on Twitter. I'm at Resident Stevel. Jordan's at
Extraordinary.
and John is at
Mr. Oprah.
Don't tweet at them, just tweet at me. I'm much more interesting.
He is.
Yeah, follow Terry.
And find us on Tinder, and we're out.